Hi everyone, hope you're doing well, hope your holidays were good. So, my holidays were not good. I'm still trying to replace software that has log4j vulnerabilities alleged, and I'm not having much fun. I've been concentrating on one particular suite of software, Symantec Endpoint Protection with Management Console, and the Management Console is the vulnerable part. So anyway, um, you ever notice whenever some company buys another company, they basically ruin the company they bought and fundamentally destroy it? Well, I thought Microsoft was good at this, but I think apparently Broadcom is trying to take over for being the worst offender in destroying good companies. So I was supposed to have a 1 o'clock meeting with these guys to troubleshoot this, and no sign of them. And I'm emailing them, and I'm getting such strange responses like we've never talked before. And I have a week-long email string of trying to get these guys to address the issue. So anyway, I decided I'm going to complain to you guys about it. So on the 17th of December, they hurriedly wrote some software and released it, and they expect you to install it and trust them. And of course, sorry, we don't do that. So my rule of thumb for the last 20 years is I never install anything that isn't a year old, because I want to let somebody else worry about all the bugs, and then by the time I get to install it, all the bugs are fixed. So anyway, so the first thing I did was I tested this in the lab. I have several workstations set up to simulate my customers' environments, and things didn't go well. First of all, the version of Symantec that they have now, they recently decided to drop SQL Anywhere and move to SQL Server 2017. That's problematic, because I don't know if you're familiar with SQL Server. It installs a lot of crap. So these endpoint management consoles are sometimes installed on domain controllers or hypervisor boxes, or heaven forbid, if you got the money, it should have its own server to keep it from polluting other things, because when they go wrong, they go wrong badly and screw up the server. Anyway, I digress. So I installed it on my hot machine. I have a hot server that's always running, ready to go to a client to replace their server if it suddenly dies and can't be repaired in a timely manner. So I took the hot server and I upgraded it, and immediately I see half a dozen security errors in the security logs for the operating system, and 3 of them are for one service, and another 3 of them are for another service, both related to Symantec. So I said, well, that's no good. I can't have that, and it seemed to work okay otherwise. But I rebooted it, and when you reboot it, they come out again. So every time you reboot the machine, you get these error messages in the security logs. Plus, you got them when you first installed it. So I can't have that. So that's buggy software in my world. So I tried it on a couple of virtual machines. I tried to do a standalone on a clean server that had nothing on it. It doesn't matter. It's funny. It varies how many error logs you get. It's as little as 2 per service, and there's 2 of them, or up to 8, which is on the Hyper-V. There's 4 for each service. Some security issue, and I don't know what kind. I've never seen it before. It's got nothing to do with login. It's got something to do with some kind of key, and something's unknown, and who knows. So anyway, so I'm not installing this software anywhere. It's better to have J42 vulnerabilities than buggy software, because what else is wrong with it? So anyway, so I contacted Symantec. I sent them a copy of the error message and asked them, have you seen this? Is it, do you know what's going on? And I got some convoluted email back about, oh, we'll have to see if it's Symantec or the operating system. I need an operating system, because I'll tell you one thing: when I uninstall their software, the problem stops. Now, anyway, so they asked me what would be a good day and time. I guess on Monday. What a good day and time to get together? Okay, I said Wednesday, 1 o'clock Eastern. Well, that was a few hours ago. It's not ringing, not a peep out of them. And what's really funny, during the initial ones, when I first contacted them, the next day I got an unknown caller calling in. I don't answer unknown calls. You don't want me to tell you. If you don't want to tell me your phone numbers, I don't want to take your call. So and they don't leave messages. And then it happened again. And then I emailed them and I said, "Is that you calling? Have you been calling me and not leaving an email message and with an unknown number? Because I won't answer that unknown number unless you email me ahead of time and say that you're calling." Anyway, didn't call. Haven't heard from him. So his last email, he suggests we do a Zoom meeting and then we troubleshoot to see what the problem is. And I said, okay, Wednesday, 1 o'clock Eastern, be there. Anyway, so they stood me up. I emailed them, hey, what happened to 1 o'clock Eastern troubleshooting? Greetings for the day. Thank you for your response. The below mentioned details is our contact information. Please email us at an email address for assistance. For production down scenarios or for severity 1, please call us at this phone number. Thanks for using Synnex Goldseal technical support. Oh yeah, Broadcom sublets their technical support to some company called Synnex Goldseal technical support. Well, so maybe it's not Broadcom, but they're funding this thing. It's a joke. This has been going on since the 17th. It's now the 29th of December. It's been going on the 17th. I've installed this software so many times, it's not funny. And it always comes out the same, no matter what environment I put it in. Server 2012 R2, Server 2019. I haven't done Server 2016 yet. I'm going to have to because I have clients with it. But always the same thing. You install their software, error message in security logs. At least 4, maybe sometimes 6, most commonly 6, and sometimes 8 if it's a hypervisor. So when I uninstall the software, the problem disappears. Now, here's the problem. Here's the other problem. So this is brand new software, copyright 2021 Broadcom, it says right on it. So they're using SQL Server 2017 for the database instead of using SQL Anywhere, which they used for since they came up with the product 10 plus years ago. And SQL Server installs a lot of crap. It immediately introduces 26 security problems that need patching. So in other words, as soon as I upgrade all these management consoles with this new stuff, I immediately have a patch nightmare on my hands. So what's better, Log4j or a vulnerable SQL server? And what am I going to do about the clients who I have this on their domain control because that's all they have? What am I going to do there? I can't have SQL Server on a domain controller. It's taboo. Anyway, luckily for all the hypervisor crowd, I think the easiest fix for this is to take the Symantec console off a workstation or off a server that's doing other duties, and dedicate a virtual machine to the console. And not make it part of the domain and isolate it and make sure it's different from everything else. And if it gets compromised, who cares? We'll just restore it from backup. And not bother about trying out this newfangled SQL Server based error log message latest edition that my policy says I'm not going to install till next December, because I'm not. It's not going unless and when you install this thing too, this little box pops up. It says, this SQL Server installation may not complete successfully if you haven't got all your Microsoft updates. Well, hello, you don't know you need them until after you install it, and your update server detects that it doesn't have the vulnerabilities for the products installed. because it creates, I'm not going to say dozen, more than a dozen .NET framework security vulnerability patches that go back 5 years. So all of a sudden you have an unpatched 5-year-old server software on your current system just because of a log4j vulnerability. I mean, what am I going to jump out of the frying pan into the fire? My God, this has got to be really stupid. In fact, it is stupid. So anyway, so right now, I'm feeling like I should have taken up my software rep from Sophos. I should have taken up his offer to cut me a deal on Sophos Endpoint protection and abandon Symantec. And I'm a diehard loyalist. I've worked with it for almost 20 years now, since the version 8, back when it was an antivirus, not an endpoint protection device. And things have changed a lot. And that was, I think the last time I called tech support too was on that version, because Symantec was just getting into firewalls and they didn't really know how their firewall worked. And I had some problems, and I had to sort them out myself and tell them what to do about it when other people called them. But at least they had in-house technical support. I mean, this Synnex Goldseal is more like gold-plated nickel. I was dismayed when I realized that I was being subletted to a third party. And God knows what kind of quality these people are. Do they really know the software? How many have they installed? Or did they write any of the software? No. These are just hired jerks from the other side of the planet who work cheap, and they're good at dicking me around. So anyway, it's going to be goodbye Symantec if things don't change real quick. I'm telling you right now. If I just have to uninstall the console temporarily until I come up with a more permanent solution, that's what I'm going to do. And I'll just check on the client the hard way. Anyway, it's a Symantec rant today. Thanks for listening, everybody, and wish me good luck. I am going to need it.